Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to this session of CENT Talks. And very happy Advanced Teachers Day to all of you. Please let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up if you can all hear me. Good evening, Sonia ma'am. Great. Awesome. Thank you so much. We see that quite a lot of participants have joined in. Yes, audible. Thank you so much. Great. Again, welcome all of you to this very special session of CENT Talks. You all teachers is what CENT Talks are made up of, and we want to make this early celebration of Teachers Day very special. And thank you all for taking your time out and joining this session on this very special topic. Few things. We were initially planned to have Priyanka here, Priyanka Arya, co-founder of center, and then she was supposed to join, but unfortunately because of some emergency, personal emergency, she would not be able to join. But nevertheless, we are keeping this show active. We want to proceed ahead and make this session as planned, and thank you all for taking your time out and joining again. But before we proceed forward, I really want to wish all of you Teachers Day, a very happy Teachers Day, and we want to honor the teachers that you are. And also at the same time, just a quick note, if you want to honor the teacher that has taught you or has been a part of your life or has inspired you at some point of the time, think of that one teacher who has inspired you, and you can share their name in the chat along with how they touched your life or made a difference. So throughout the session, please let's acknowledge the teachers that have been a part of our life, in our school, in our life as well, and then we would really appreciate that part. So thank you so much. We have quite a lot of comments coming in already. Okay, let's get this session started. First of all, I would like to welcome Ramya to grace this occasion of Teachers Day, and support our teachers over here, wish our teachers over here, and the viewers who has been part and everyday part of our center community as well. Welcome, Ramya.
Thank you. Yeah, good evening, everyone. I'm Ramya Venkatraman, and I'm founder and CEO of CENTA. My co-founder, Priyanka, was actually going to do this session, as Rastogi mentioned, but she had a personal emergency. And yeah, I see this as a blessing for me that I'm able to do this wonderful session on Teachers Day. So as Rastogi said, I'm going to request everyone to stop saying good evening. So, or good morning or good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you are in. Instead, we are going to say two things. One, where are you joining from? And second, thank you to somebody. And that somebody being a teacher whom you remember. So I would love to see joining from so and so place. Thank you with the teacher's name. So let's see a lot of that, and we'll try to pause the good evenings for now because otherwise they will crowd out the chat. So we are looking for a lot of teachers to be acknowledged, and and on this Teachers' Day, that would be the best way to have this session. Meanwhile, while you start acknowledging your teachers, let me mention that I have already counted, though only a few people have mentioned where they are from. I have already counted a very large number of states across India. So I can see teachers from Delhi, Jharkhand, Haryana, Karnataka, uh, Tamil Nadu, so I'm seeing teachers from a lot of states across India. I'm also seeing several international teachers from Kenya, from Azerbaijan. Uh, so welcome to from Nigeria. Welcome to all our international teachers too. We are celebrating Teachers' Day in India tomorrow, and of course the World Teachers' Day is also coming up soon in another month. So thank you all for joining. So before we start the session, I want to mention that the guest we have today is very special. And let me request Rastogi to get him onto the chat before or onto the screen before I talk about him. Namaste, Sarvendra ji.
Namaste. Good to see you after a long time.
Good to see you after a long time.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Sarvendra Vikram Singh, and I can also see many teachers from Uttar Pradesh on the chat. I'm sure everyone from Uttar Pradesh would recognize him, and probably teachers from many other parts of the country might also recognize him. Dr. Sarvendra Vikram Singh is a renowned educationist who has held senior leadership positions in the government of Uttar Pradesh, in SERT, in the Basic Education Department, in SSA. He holds a PhD in education and also a specialized training in educational planning by NEPA. But before before I talk about a very interesting thing that he currently does, I want to mention why he is special for us in CENTA. Of course, all of us in education look up to him, and you heard about his background. But he's very special for us in CENTA because long back, when CENTA was in very early stages, Dr. Sarvendra was one of the people who very quickly understood what CENTA is all about and became one of the pioneers supporting teachers from Uttar Pradesh in participating in CENTA's annual competition that is called International TPO. And
Right.
under his leadership, several teachers from government of Uttar Pradesh. In fact, Sarvendra ji, I remember it was September 2018 when we had just
Yeah.
launched your campaign in Uttar Pradesh, and literally overnight, because we woke up the next morning and found that suddenly 1,000 teachers from Uttar Pradesh had registered for international TPO in one
Oh,
night.
great. Great.
And we realized, oh, Dr. Sarvendra has really encouraged a lot of teachers, and,
Thank you.
and they are participating actively. uh, and uh, and after that, many of these teachers from Uttar Pradesh who did very well in international TPO were further encouraged by Dr. Sarvendra by getting into a partnership with Tata Trust and encouraging some of them to contribute to a book that government of Uttar Pradesh brought out.
Yeah.
So he's been one of the pioneers, and of course you'll be very happy to know that CENTA as a community has come a long way. We now serve 2 million or 20 lakh teachers. International TPO is in its 10th year. So yeah, welcome to today's program.
Thank you, Rupya. First of all, I should congratulate all the teachers and you on all this fraternity. Happy Teachers Day, and I will be failing if I don't congratulate to CENTA for this tremendous growth during the past few years. So I'm also feeling very happy to be part of this day.
Very glad to hear that, Sarvendra ji. And one thing I'm going to do as we proceed with this session is every now and then we'll keep thanking a few teachers. It'll be very difficult to read out the entire chat, but we'll thank whoever we can. So let's start with Miss Nalini Pujari's uh, uh, gratitude to Daya Padman, her teacher, and Valentine Abiola's gratitude to Mr. Adevui and Mr. Charles Chaik. I'm sure I may not be pronouncing all the names correctly, but this is your students' gratitude to you. With those two opening rounds of thanks, let's also talk a little bit about what Sarvendra ji is currently up to. So he's one of those people who has retired but not retired.
Yeah,
Is that a right way to put it?
rewired.
Rewired,
Yeah.
retired and rewired. So Sarvendra ji,
So
you are doing a lot even today in supporting and encouraging teachers. And one of the most interesting initiatives is that you are bringing out stories of teachers. And
yeah.
uh, uh, but before we talk about those stories, I also know that you are a published poet. Is there a line or couple of lines from one of your poetries that you would like to, or poems that you would like to dedicate to teachers today?
I would request to grant me leave, not for quoting from my collections, but from Gabriela Mistral.
Okay.
There is a very famous quote, and I often reread it. It goes like, "Many things we need can wait. The child cannot. Now is the time his bones are being formed, her blood is being constituted, his brain is being developed. To her, we cannot say tomorrow. Her name is today." That's all. So
Beautiful.
Gabriela was a teacher. She started a career as a teacher at the age of 50 to support herself and her family, and later on became she diplomat, and then she was awarded Nobel Prize in Literature. So I have a very uh, sincere attachment to these lines because she has personified how teachers are important for a child.
Beautiful, beautiful. No, that's wonderful. And of course, sometime during the session, if you feel inspired to mention a couple of lines of your own poetry,
I feel shy, shy
whether
about
in
reciting a poem. So, on any other day, I will try to
sure,
tell. Yeah.
sure, sure. Great. So let me read out a couple of more thank yous from Isha Sharma of Himachal Pradesh to Sabir sir. And Isha also thanks her parents, but especially focusing on her teacher Sabir sir today. We have someone joining from NCRT. Their own name is not mentioned, but they thank their political science teacher, Mr. Ved Prakash. So thank you, Mr. Ved Prakash, from your student. And with that, let's move to the next question for you, Sarvendraji.
Yeah,
So
please.
you have you have played many different roles. You have, of course, been a leader in government. You have been a policy maker, and in throughout this journey, education has been very core to your life. Is there any specific moment or time which inspired you to be part of the education space and contribute to this sector?
See, career preferences are not like this. What I have perceived, uh, you go to university or a college and you get a degree, and then you try to go for a job, and there are competitive exams, and I was selected for this. But when I started my career as a secondary school principal, and then in various positions at different level, district level, at the divisional level, and at the state level, over a period of time, I developed this interest, and now I can reflect upon how it happened, how it might have happened, since I have DNA of a mathematics teacher. So my father was a teacher, and I used to see many ex-students visiting him and getting his blessings, and he would say simply, "Ki God bless you. So you should grow like anything, etc., etc." So probably that was the image which was formed during my childhood days of a teacher. Without saying, without anything instructing, uh, I have I have accumulated this kind of. And later on, I realized when I used to visit schools uh, for my official responsibilities, I always kept in mind that teacher is the most respected functionary, most important functionary in the entire education system. Only they can change a life. So there was not a specific moment like that was a turning point in my life, but later on, slowly, gradually, it built upon, and I started enjoying it. I am working with those people who are working with the most important thing in the world, and there are moments in life when I thought probably I have done something. Yeah, probably I was able to achieve something, sense of accomplishment, a sense of satisfaction. So, as you were referring to, some of the teachers were identified through a process. In fact, how it started, it was very interesting. I sent a communication to all the teachers that those who feel that they are doing very good, they can write a short piece about their good work, excellent work, and they can send it to us. We received about 900 plus entries written on paper, typed on paper, etc. They were screened. Out of those, I remember more than 400 were identified, those who had potential and those who had some substance. So again, I requested them to send a small video of their what they are doing in their school at their own level in their classrooms, be a science teacher, be a music teacher, be a sports teacher, whatever. So I remember we received about 400 plus entries, and they were screened at the state level. My team was kind enough, with the help of the teachers, that they screened all the videos, and 97 videos were identified. And one Sunday afternoon, we invited all of them for a lunch, and there was screening of some of the videos because every video to be screened was not possible for a uh, shorter time. So some of the videos were screened. I remember some of the teachers, head teachers, when their videos were screened, they were about to cry because this was the moment in their life. Like they might not have conceived this kind of idea. They will be invited to a state level event where their work will be displayed, showcased. So probably that was one another moment. And when we identified out of those 97 videos, about 40 teachers who had better potential of a story, and they were invited for a 5-day workshop. How to write your story well, and how to edit your story well. And we had a professional from Bangalore, and that professional was kind enough to come down to Bangalore. In fact, Tata Trust had supported in this endeavor
Yes.
you were referring to, and she spent 5 days in Lucknow and working with those teachers for throughout. And then final the product was when it was launched by the then honorable education minister in a public function, and it was live on YouTube and Facebook. That was probably the another moment in my life that yes, I could do something. I have received something. So these are some small things which I enjoy now. I can recollect. I can remember those days. Yeah.
Very interesting, very interesting, Sarvendraji. And as you rightly said, I mean, I think the very often careers are not shaped in one particular moment or one particular incident alone.
Yeah.
It's over a period of time that one gets into a career and gels with it in a certain way. So lovely to hear about your a
Thank
glimpse
you.
of your
Thank
journey.
you. Thank you.
Before I ask you a little more, I'm going to thank a few more teachers on behalf of their students. So Krishna Tinku thanks Dr. A.K. Srivastava and Dr. Mithilesh Kumar. Samuel Robinson Massey is thanked by someone whose name is not coming up, but I love the sentence saying that Samuel Robinson Massey made every class a celebration. It was a lovely sentence. Mohammad Irfan thanks Dr. Qayyum Nawaz. Uh, Ifua Omar G thanks Andrew Obihama. So, as I said, I'm not going to read out the entire chat, but trying to thank a few teachers on behalf of their students. There are also many people on the chat who have mentioned that they thank all their teachers and not calling out anyone specific, and very much appreciate that also.
Ramya, may I ask something to you?
Of course,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Ramya, you did to IIT Delhi, then you achieved the degree, and then you joined IIM, and
Yeah.
then you joined the consultancy. You have traveled across the globe, and then I do not know. I just wanted to understand why and when you decided to quit that and then join and then create a different kind of platform where it was so important to identify effort of an ordinary teacher. I'm purposefully using this word ordinary. Their job and their work and their profession is extraordinary, but usually teachers are perceived as ordinary teacher because there is nothing extraordinary which can happen on a daily basis. So why it was, and when you realize that no, enough is consultancy, and now I should do something else. So what was that moment, and when you decided why it is more important to identify and recognize the efforts of a teacher?
Happy to, I mean, happy to answer that. So, I mean, frankly, I was interested in education for a very long time. Even before I joined IIT in my own high school days, somehow I used to feel that, I want to do something related to education. And there were a couple of incidents which made me think like that. But of course, at that time, it was not like when you say you want to do something related to education, you don't know what it is. And I was very interested in science, so I ended up following a sort of stereotypical path of getting into IIT Delhi and IIM Calcutta, and I totally enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it. I loved those years. But during those years, when I tried to volunteer in education with some NGO, etc., I just realized that it's very, very hard. Even when I tried to teach a few students maths, because I thought, okay, maths is a subject I understand so well, it should be possible to teach, but I really struggled. So then I felt I'm not yet ready to work in education. It is important for me to build my skills properly, work in an organization which will allow me to build those skills. So I ended up from campus joining McKinsey and Company, which is a management consulting firm, as you said. And of course, I mean, I think it's like, as you rightly said, careers just end up taking certain shapes. And I had a long career in McKinsey, 15 years. But somewhere it was always back of my mind that I want to work in education. And
Yeah.
10 years into my career, I got the opportunity to build McKinsey's education practice. And
Mhm.
when I did that, uh, I started understanding teaching as a profession more closely. And when I started understanding teaching as a profession, one thing I felt is that we keep pushing teachers that they need to improve, they need to use various kinds of new pedagogy, technology, content, etc., but we never ask the question or allow teachers to ask the question, what can I also get? We
Yeah.
always say, no, it's a noble profession. You are just serving the world, which is,
Yeah. Guru
yes,
Brahma,
it is a
Guru
noble
Vishnu.
profession. But yeah, but every professional also wants their own growth. And
Yeah.
I started feeling that that is a bottleneck. We also need to recognize teachers, we need to create career growth for teachers. And that seemed like a missing piece in this education puzzle. And which is why I said, let's build an entity that is dedicated to recognizing, rewarding, creating career growth for teachers. And that's when I left McKinsey and started CENTA, which is of course now 10 years old. So sorry, probably a long answer to your question,
But
but that is how it happened.
what you have explained, uh, probably the participants and those who are watching us might have understood why. Because I feel the most important thing is uh, asking why. And I always uh, feel, since you have been awarded many times leadership awards, Niti Aayog award, so and you have been in different positions. So I feel the best leader is in the classroom, teacher. Yeah. And as a teacher, as a teacher leader, I would prefer to say, like, children imitate, copy, absorb, assimilate every bit from their teacher.
Yeah.
And I have read somewhere that if a child likes her teacher, her interest in the particular subject improves.
Yes.
We
Yes. There
prefer
is there is
to
research.
learn
Yeah.
from a teacher whom I
Yeah.
love as a
Yeah.
child. So, would you mind sharing some wisdom tips about how to be a good leader, because there are many books, there are many videos, there are many speakers, and somehow I feel they are theoreticians. They are not practitioners. I feel you have been a practitioner throughout, so probably you can share some insights from your personal experiences, may anecdotes, instances that may help a teacher, that may be beneficial for a teacher.
Yeah, so I think so I think by now everyone in the show must might have understood ki we can't ask Sarvendra ji only questions. He will always also ask questions. So I think everyone in the show might have understood that by now. So Sarvendra ji, I think more than any wisdom from my side, I would rather mention two, three very interesting examples we have come across from teachers. So, for
Yeah,
example, there is a teacher come principal whose name I think he may not mind my mentioning, called Dr. Ashok Pandey, who used to be in a leading school in Delhi. He continues to be associated with many schools. And one of the very interesting incidents I came across was there was a teacher in his school who was one of the CENTA International TPO awardees, and he actually found a little bit of a difference in opinion where he had not looked at that teacher in that way, but she was awarded. Now another principal might have said, oh, how did CENTA award somebody whom I had not exactly thought of? But instead he said, oh, let me understand this better. And he started understanding what are the teacher's strengths and what are certain areas where he could help her further. And very interestingly, her classes also became even better, and together they had a journey of learning which was very, very interesting. And so that to me is leadership, where you identify the crux of somebody's strength and try to see how do you work with them on a certain improvement area, and take it from there. Another example that has always stayed, I mean, for the last several years, has stayed in my mind. It is the example of a teacher in Bangalore. Her name is Jaipriya Balaji, and she's one of the very early CENTA certified teachers. And she's from a leading school in Bangalore. She's a senior teacher over there. But what has stood out for me is that she may be awarded, etc., but she has really continued that journey of service, both within her school, supporting other teachers, and externally contributing knowledge to the broader community, contributing in even an international conference, etc. So that again to me is leadership. It is not that, okay, once you're awarded, then that's it, you're forgetting the commitment.
that's a
So the
different. Yeah,
leadership, yeah, it is the continuation of that commitment.
yeah.
So I just
That is,
took two. Yeah, sorry, please go
no,
ahead.
no, no. I was just trying to compliment. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. So that those are a couple of examples that stand out to me as leadership.
yeah.
And let me actually give the question back to you, because you are running a very interesting initiative now in Uttar Pradesh, where on a regular basis you are uncovering stories of teachers. And from those stories, can you give us one or two examples that have stood out to you as examples that show both competencies as a teacher and as you said, teaching leadership. And before you answer that, maybe you can take 30 seconds to think. Before that, let me read out a couple of more thank yous. So
Sure.
Sirat Randava thanks Harvinder Kaur from Gurdaspur. So thank you very much, Harvinder Kaur, for inspiring your student. And Amaya Logs thanks Angel Ma'am. Again, thank you, Angel Ma'am, for inspiring your student. And with that, back to Sarvendra ji for a couple of stories.
So I like stories, and I have read somewhere that ultimately we all become stories. So write your story well and rewrite and edit very well. Uh, I don't know, but I was fortunate enough to receive some of the finest teachers in my office, and during my conversations with them, I used to ask them very politely, why you are putting so much effort in this? Because your job is done. You come to school, teach your subject, go home, and children are doing fine. Results are good. So invariably, what I could listen from them was like, "Sir, अच्छा लगता है." It feels good. It was simple, but somehow it touched my heart. And probably this was the biggest reward, that it feels good. It gives you satisfaction. That is the biggest reward. And I used to ask them. So when I retired, and I thought I must contact those teachers, what they are doing and how they are doing, how they are pulling on. So somebody suggested, ki, why don't you invite them for a chat, and how it began. So I started inviting them, and they were very formal, first of all, because they treat me like their boss and head of the. I said, no, don't call me sir. Sir, आदत पड़ गई है, sir. So it was very difficult to open up and be informal. So it started like this. And when I posted some of the videos, I got comments from teachers across the state, and that fueled the process. I remember some of those who came for the interviews. One lady teacher from Bhadohi, when she narrated that she was in primary school, and she fell from the stairs, and she got injury in her back, and she was bedridden for 2 years. So she was narrating that those 2 years were, one can imagine easily that they were very traumatic. And so she was saying like, my single thought was whether I'll be able to walk again. And when she recovered from that accident and all kind of, then went for surgery, and then she completed her school and college and masters, and uh, masters in chemistry, and then she started her career as a medical representative. Then she became a primary school teacher, and then she became a school teacher in upper primary school. I asked her whether your girls students ask questions. She said they share many things with me, and sometimes I feel that probably they might not be sharing those things with their family. Sometimes they say that you are greater than my mother. So these kind of moments are very emotional and for the teachers. So I had to stop they recording for a few seconds and then it went on. Yeah.
Sorry, I think my mic was on mute. I was just saying that very, very inspiring, Sarvendra ji, and I've been watching some of your stories. I'm
Thank
lucky
you.
to be on your list, I think. So very, very inspiring to see how you are bringing out the sort of depth of why somebody has become a teacher and how they have continued in the profession for a long time against various odds in some cases, like the one you mentioned. And before we move on, again, a few more thank yous. So Karpagam Nagarajan thanks geography teacher Yoga Lakshmi. Thank you, Yoga Lakshmi. Makas thanks Mrs. Okeke. And Makas has mentioned that Mrs. Okeke pulled them up from the bottom of the class to the top of the class. So thank you, Mrs. Okeke. Folake Idovo thanks Mrs. Ayahen. Thank you very much, Mrs. Ayahen. Manshi Srivastava thanks Mrs. Sapna Dubey. Thank you, Mrs. Sapna Dubey. So many, many thank yous flying in for all the teachers. Let me move to another part of this. So one of the interesting things we learned in the CENTA journey, Sarvendraji, is initially, as you know, we ran international TPO. We continue to run it. In fact, it is in its 10th year right now. But we also realized that with the community growing, and now there are 2 million teachers in the CENTA community, we need many ways to recognize teachers. International TPO becomes one of them, but we need many ways to recognize teachers. So, in fact, my co founder, Priyanka, who
Yeah.
unfortunately could not join today, she runs something called Teacher Stories every week
Yes,
on
madam.
social media, primarily LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And every week she has a deep interview with one teacher, and she summarizes that into a short story.
Yes.
One of the most interesting things that happened recently was that a student wrote to Priyanka, because nowadays there are so many students
Yes.
also on LinkedIn. A student
Mm.
wrote to Priyanka saying, please contact my teacher for your story. And
Yes.
Priyanka had a meeting with that teacher also. So anyway, coming out of Priyanka's teacher stories, our team has put together a few short nuggets as videos. And I'm going to request my colleague Rastogi to quickly play 2, 3 videos as a sort of small break from our conversation before we come back.
My name is Samuel Malcolm Michael Chilamso. I'm streaming light away from Benin Republic, West Africa, but I'm a Ghanaian, and I might say I was very delighted when I was called upon to share my story on the CENTA app. When I was contacted, it was just a great joy to air out how I feel, my motivations, and what gingered me into the field of teaching. It has been a great one, and I know all the CENTA stories that have been posted about teachers, about teaching, about the work that we do has helped not only to inspire me, but to inspire other people to put in their better best, because education isn't just to be in the class. It takes beyond passion, love, and faith for what you do to give out your best. So I must say, teacher story from CENTA is the best and one of its kind. Very grateful. I've learned a lot from the seniors that I met in CENTA community or family. I must say thank to everyone who has contributed to the best success and growth of teaching. I'm grateful. Stay loyal. Samuel, Malcolm, Michael, Chinosu. Thank everyone. Enjoy your day.
Hello everyone, my name is Chitra Rola. I began my journey in the teaching profession as an elementary teacher and gradually grew into the role of a primary teacher and now an academic in charge. The curious eyes of little ones, their endless questions, and their unconditional love made me realize how responsible the role of a teacher truly is. The path has not always been without challenges, but each obstacles has become stepping stone for me to learn, gather knowledge, and upgrade my skills through workshops and continuous practices. I chose to embrace each challenges as a motivation and inspiration to grow, to learn, and to become better than what I was before. Santa has played a pivotal role.
Okay, so
Yeah.
of course, we could not. It's a short session, and we can't play the entire video. But what I love to see on the chat is that many people, including Raja Lakshmi, Ganwe, Tonga, and many others actually have mentioned that they keep looking forward to Priyanka's teacher stories. So I will definitely let Priyanka know, and I'm sure she'll be very happy. A couple of more thank yous. So Sanjeev Kumar thanks his teacher Suniti Chandra Mishra. Professor S.S. Dogra from Hetauda Academy, Nepal. Your student thanks you. Cannot see the student's name, but you are thanked. And with that, let us come back to Sarvendra ji for a few closing thoughts in this session. So Sarvendra ji, I actually, want to ask you. We have made one very interesting change in international TPO, which is that this year, in addition to taking the CENTA teaching quotient test, because we do believe in testing competencies, but in addition to taking the CENTA teaching quotient test, we are actually allowing parents, schools, and governments to nominate teachers whom they think are great teachers. And teachers get some additional points through those nominations. So it's not only the scores of the CENTA test, they get additional points through these nominations. Now, love to hear your view on this kind of a shift where we are trying to bring the ecosystem into international TPO.
Yeah. Couple of things. One is excellent idea that if they are doing very well, they are doing excellent job in their respective domains and districts, whatever wherever they are, and if they are nominated by their superiors, officers, principals, who can. So that will be a fantastic idea to pursue with a caveat. Number one, usually what I have experienced, it may be true, it may not be. Uh, Teachers do their work very silently, and often they are unnoticed. So, there is one category, and there is another category who are good at doing good, and also good at propagating and showcasing and demonstrating and manifesting what they are doing and how they are doing. So they are easily noticed, captured, identified, highlighted. So you will have to, the team has to keep a balance between these two.
Balance.
So, yeah.
Very useful input, sir. Very useful input. And in that context, we don't want it to become just a vote. It should have, of course, a lot of weightage to the competency test, but also bring in the idea of the ecosystem supporting teachers.
Right.
Is there since a lot of people are thanking their teachers, and I'm going to also thank a couple of my teachers, but before that, sir, is there a teacher from your childhood you want to thank today?
Say there are many teachers, but I especially remember my language teacher in the senior secondary level, where I got this inclination for reading and writing and etc. literature. And more than that, I always remember my school librarian. Yeah, this may appear very unusual, but I can narrate when I was in primary classes. So we were fortunate enough to have a very good library in those days in a senior secondary school, and we had enough time to visit the library whenever you wish. You can. I have a very clear memory of my librarian in a kurta pajama, sitting on his table with his specs slightly lowered down and reading a book. And oftentimes he would suggest that you should read this book. So, hats off to that gentleman. Uh, he was a wonderful role model for a reader. And other day I was going through, yeah, other day I was going through Priyanka's posts on LinkedIn, where Purva Agarwal, in her 44th episode, she has written that make someone a reader for life. This is the statement. Excellent. That is the best gift. She has written like this.
Great, great. No, so nice to hear about both your language teacher and your librarian. And I'm also going to take this opportunity to thank two of my school teachers. One is Mr. Prem Khilani, my chemistry teacher in secondary and senior secondary. I think he played a very big role in my getting into IIT
Best.
because I was very busy with a lot of extracurricular activities. So he always used to bring the focus back, saying, "Okay, all this is fine, but you have to clear the exam." Focus. So keep used to keep bringing the focus back, and until today, he's very involved in CENTA. Even today, when he sees something, he will say, "Oh, why is CENTA doing this or not doing this?" Etc., etc. So, second person I want to thank is my history teacher, Mrs. Ferengiz Latif, both in middle school and secondary. I think she really created a sort of inspiration to do something for the country in many of us. And I think a little bit of that childhood motivation we have tried to fulfill in small ways at least. So
Yeah.
so those are two teachers, and as many people on the chat have already mentioned that it is very hard to pick one or two teachers. There are so many
Exactly.
of them. Yeah, we need to thank.
Yeah.
But Sarvendraji, any closing words of advice before we hand over to my colleague? Any closing words of advice for all the teachers watching this session?
I would borrow from Priyanka's writing. Uh, she has written in one episode, it's a quote from a teacher. Many times, students don't know what they don't know. It's very potential and very meaningful sentence for me. It appeared like because as a child, they don't know a lot of things, and we should respect their not knowing something or not knowing anything particularly, and we should respect their ignorance, their innocence. This is the that's all. And if you allow and the time permits, I can ask a question. Do you have a dream? Your most cherished dream?
you're asking?
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess, I mean, the dream I'm sort of chasing right now, uh, and of course we use the tagline "making teaching aspirational," but the dream I'm chasing is that sometime, 10-20 years out, maybe, we should see teaching both as a profession with a lot of opportunities if one is bringing the right competencies, and recognize how tough it is. I think as society, it is very common to say, "Oh, teaching is easy," but try entering a classroom.
It's very
It's
difficult.
the toughest. It is the toughest job
Yeah.
in the world. So I think just that recognition of how tough a profession it is, if we understand more broadly as a society, and therefore create opportunities, the right growth for our competent teachers. I think that is the dream I'm currently chasing.
Thank you. Thank you
So
for sharing your dream to this audience.
thank you very much, sir. It was, Sarvendra ji, it was a real pleasure having a long conversation with you after a long time, and for our teachers to listen into someone who has dedicated his life to the cause of education and continues to do that in a very impactful and powerful manner. So thank you very much. Today's Sentalks was one where we did not get into technical things or specific learning, but celebrated the profession. And next week, of course, we'll be back with one of our more technical sessions. As always, thank you again, Sarvendra ji,
Thank
for
you.
being with
Thank you
us.
for
Okay, got it. Okay. Uh, Sorry, I think I was on a mute right now. Yes, thank you, Sarvendra sir. Thank you, Ramya. As I was saying, I will just repeat. It was such a warm conversation. The conversation took off from being insightful to warm and then inspiring at all. Yes, this session is specifically on celebration. We will move on towards our technical celebration, technical part of the sessions from next Thursday onwards, and I hope you'll be part of that. But moving forward, I would like to pick up few of the comments that has been gone throughout the session, and I just want to read them out to you as well. There has been a lot of teachers who have been thanking their parents, their mother, their father, being a great teacher and inspiring them in their journey towards teaching children and building those classrooms. There is Madhumita Guha ma'am who added on to what Dr. Sarvendra had to say about Dr. Sarvendra's favorite teacher being a librarian as well as a language teacher. Madhumita Guha ma'am says, I too was fortunate to have excellent library. We too had library periods. In my opinion, we should include in current system of school scheduled library periods as book reading has to be promoted. Then we had other teachers that in the beginning of the session we might have missed it out. So I'm just trying to compile those comments, which has been very nicely put. So Anju Dang ma'am says, my previous school principal, Mr. R.S. Grewal, who always motivated me to think beyond obstacles and focus on finding solutions. Gargi Maitra Acharya ma'am says, my political science teacher, who was very gentle and nice, inspired me to take interest in political science and later complete my master's in political science and take the teaching as a profession. That's really inspiring. Um, we do not have the name, but the handle is called MSP. My physics sir, he was punctual and perfect in everything. Especially, he won't lend classes from other teacher to complete the portion, and he never gives his own classes to other teacher too. So, when as a student you replicate what your teacher shows as well, and then it shows in the profession that you get later on, so which is what I think sir is trying to say over here. So great comments, thank you all for joining in. With that, I just want to take you through the feedback. I think everybody is waiting for that, the feedback submission and the record of participation download. So if you are joining new over here, I would want you to walk you through it. If you have already registered and has been part of CENTOX before, you have to go to the CENTA app to download the record of participation. But for those who have joined recently or are new to the center community, uh, I hope you all have registered uh, this webinar in your center app. Once you register in your center app, you will see that the register button, wherever you have registered in the app, must have changed to join. And at 6 o'clock, right now we have passed 1 minute to 6 o'clock, it must have changed to submit feedback. Please go to submit feedback, enter your feedback, ratings, give us the feedback on how you like the session, any areas of improvement, what did you like best about today's session, give us the rating and submit. Once you press submit feedback, the button itself will change to download record of participation, and you can download the record of participation. In the submit feedback form, you can enter this 4-digit code, which is at the bottom of the screen. You can enter this code and submit the feedback. I would like to take that again. Wherever you have registered for this webinar, please go to that registered site. The button of registration must have changed to submit feedback. Click on submit feedback, enter the 4-digit code, which is at the bottom of this screen that you can see. It's 9014. Give us the rating, give us the feedback, tell us how did you find today's session. Post that. You can submit feedback, and the button will change to download a record of participation, and you can download the record of participation instantly. So for any queries, please write us at team@centa.org. And thank you so much for joining us here, taking your time out on this very special occasion. We wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. Uh, and we will see you next Thursday with another great session ahead. Thank you so much. Very good evening and bye.